Good morning, Swagatam, Namaskar, Suprabhat, Subhava Khair. I welcome you all in our income tax class, and I'm C. Ankit Sharma, your income tax faculty for the session. Today we will be discussing chapter 3, that would be salaries. And we have gone through with the basic concept provision, students. We have completed our residential status provision, and I believe you must working very hard to achieve the goal of your flight to become a chartered accountant as soon as possible. So result has been declared yesterday, and I believe those who have already cleared their attempt, congratulations to all of you. And those who didn't, do not take any tension. You have to work hard again, and you will be a CA very, very soon. Okay. So again, good morning to everyone once again. So this chapter number 3, salary, is the proper chapter in which we will discuss about the provision of salary only. In the basic concept, there were introduction concept, the income tax, why it has been levied in India, what is the basic rates, definition, etc. And the second chapter was specifically regarding how to find out the residential status of a person, as well as regarding the incidence of taxability, because taxability depends upon your residential status. The main topic after these two chapters, like heads of income, whatever income you have earned, that is going to be taxed based upon your residential status. But in which category that income is going to be taxed? If you have remembered, in the first chapter, there was first point was residential status when we are going through with the calculation of total income. And second was heads of income. So whenever you earn any income, whenever you receive any income, that needs to be classified one of the head of an income, which we are going to discuss one by one. So out of these heads of income, the first heads of income is salary. So we will come to know in this chapter which kind of income is going to be taxed in salary head. What is the procedure to tax that income? What are the provisions, the numerical part, the theoretical concept, each and everything. It's a very, very important chapter, and it's little bit huge also, because multiple provisions are there. The one good thing about this chapter is not any individual provision is difficult. Every individual provisions are easy and compact. But the problem with this, that when the question is going to be asked, so multiple provision would be applicable in the single question. So that could be a complicated part of this chapter, but else the individual concept of each and everything is very, very, very easy. If you are having any interest in this subject, everything is going to be easy, as I always says. Okay. So there are good morning wishes. Neeraj saying good morning, good morning. So student, if you can do one thing, you can please write me from where you belongs. Your city name also you can write it down. So I want to see from which part of India we are connected. So if possible, you can write it down your city name also. So Neeraj, good morning. Chandana, good morning. Ajay, good morning. Prajapati, good morning. Theosami, good morning. Pranav, Pooja, Mujahid, Avinash, Prerna, Aditya, Syed, Nitin, Adil, Manisha, Chhatrapur, Syed, okay. Mumbai, Kolkata, Harsh, Meena, Mumbai. I have been to Kolkata, beautiful place. Varanasi, Mysore, Pooja, okay. Mujahid, Telangana, Hyderabad, very nice. Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan, Jaipur, Neeraj, okay. Good morning, sir. Pranav, okay. Hubli, Karnataka, very far. Nagarajan, Karnataka, Ajay, Karnataka, Songda, Gujarat, Prerna, Goa, wow, beautiful place, Prerna. Santosh, Pune, Aditya, Shimoga, Rajasthan, Kuldeep, via Mumbai, Vasai, any Odisha. So we are connected to every part of India. Beautiful. Bangalore, good morning, Lingawa, Karnataka, Odisha, Shimong, Karnataka, very nice. Nasik, Delhi, Shalini, very nice. So Jalandhar is Shamli, Punjab, very nice place. Shalini is in Delhi. Shireen is Kolkata, beautiful place. I've been there. Good morning, Satish. Good Delhi. Dhanlakshmi is Bangalore, nice place. Lakshita, Jalandhar, very nice. Saipa from Hyderabad. Sakti is Tamil Nadu, very beautiful. Hina, Hina is saying, hello, sir. Just a small request. As this chapter is a bit tricky, do use Hindi in between, not completely, but in complex concepts that helps in retention. I could do that, but let's see. If we have enough time, we will definitely going to discuss these concepts in Hindi. Those are complicated. Nasik is Tiwari, okay. Bangalore, Indore. So I welcome you all. Now, class, there's a query on query portal from Mr. Bala Murugan, and he's asking, good morning, sir. Got a question. Meenu Kumari is from Delhi. Okay. Good morning, sir. Got a question on the residential status ROR. Is taxed on the global income. RNOR and NRI are taxed on income generated from India. In tax return, if person A is NRI but misfiled as RNOR, what is the impact from a tax point of view? There is no impact as both are taxed on only Indian income. So, Mr. Balamurgan, this question does not relate it to our residential status chapter, but it's still related to a practical problem what you exactly asking, or you can say this chapter would be a part of a chapter filing of return of income. That would be our second last chapter. So in this case, whatever you're asking, if the impact is not on income due to, but you have mistakenly submit your wrong residential status, so that return could be called a defective return. Under section 139(9), that could be regarded as defective return if department comes to know, and they will give you a time to rectify that mistake around within 15 days. If you did not rectify that mistake, that could be an invalid return, but that would not affect your tax liability at all. So that is a procedural mistake. Department, if come to know, that may give you a time to rectify that mistake, but do not worry, the impact on your tax would not be there. Okay. Harivansh is asking from Odisha, sir, is all theory are important for examination point of view? Yes, each and everything is important. And do not underestimate the power of a theoretical provision. So I have already told you in the first chapter that theoretical provisions are also important, and the numerical part is definitely is based upon the theoretical concept. So please do not skip that. Balamurgan is saying, thanks, understood. Okay, well, welcome. Dhanlakshmi is asking, health and education cess is applicable even if surcharge is not applicable. Exactly. Yes. Exactly, Dhanlakshmi. Health and cess always applicable. Mustafa is saying Gujarat. Very good. Came to Mustafa. I hope Majama. Chalo. Next is Geeta is saying good morning. So moving on to the provision. Before that, there would be, of course, a thought for the day for all of you. And it says we do not need to tell everyone about our struggle. We do not need to tell everyone about our struggle. The CA prefix says everything. So I hope you understand that. When you say someone that you are a chartered accountant, they already know, oh, you are a chartered accountant. So they know how much struggle we have done, how much sacrifices we have done. So that is the power of this prefix CA. When you say someone that I am a chartered accountant, they already know that you are a very sincere person, you are an intelligent person, you are a very hard worker. Why? Because they all know the journey is not easy. This is a difficult journey, and if you have completed it, so you do not need to tell anyone whatever you have gone through. Okay? So that was thought for the day for everyone. Moving on to the provision part now. uh, संतोष सिंह सर सैलरी चैप्टर में काफी ज्यादा परफॉर्मा दिए हुए हैं सर सभी याद रखना जरूरी है क्या संतोष एंड एवरीवन दोज आर joined us today let me tell you परफॉर्मर्स भी हैं फॉर्मेट्स भी हैं, बट कुछ भी डिफिकल्ट नहीं है, मैं आपको बता, ट्रस्ट मी। अच्छा, चैप्टर 1 चैप्टर 2 में भी तो काफी सारे परफॉर्मा फॉर्मेट्स थे, एंड आई believe that whenever you have gone through with chapter 1 and 2, when we were discussing it initially, we always find it very complicated. Basic concept, old regime, new regime, default regime, surcharge, cess, rebate. But I believe now we have sorted that provisions. So stay with me. I will explain each and everything. And do not worry, I have prepared chart for each and every provision of salary head. So once we have completed our theoretical provision with illustration, etc., I will upload chart also. That will really going to help you to solve question, to learn the provision easily. So we, BOS, ICAI with you in your journey to become a chartered accountant. Okay, so do not worry, just stay with me, understand what we are studying, and then you will find it out that after 6 lectures of our session of salary, you will find it out, okay, salary was also not that difficult. If we go through with a planning way, strategical, and you are going to revise, if you are going to follow what I am going to ask you to do not worry, no chapter is going to be difficult in income tax at least. Okay, chalo. Mustafa, खूब मजा मसर. Okay, chalo, moving on. Dhanlakshmi, from which slab onwards health and education cess is applicable, sir? Dhanlakshmi, cess would be applicable in all cases. If there would be tax in any case, whether there is surcharge or rebate or no, does not matter. If there is tax, whatever amount of tax is there, including surcharge or not, upon that you have to charge 4% cess in every example, every question. So you can learn if there is tax, there would be cess. Shreen is saying, where can we get the MCQ sheet? Shreen, I have uploaded that MCQ sheet last night around 11:30 p.m. So maybe you will get it after 1 or 2 hours. You can find it out on the BOS portal. You will get it. Okay. Nitin, sir, in last, if time permits, please guide us in maintaining notes. Okay, sure, definitely. Any other query? शालिनी आप सेइंग सर आपने एमसीक्यू पीडीएफ शेयर नहीं किया, मैंने कल रात को 11:30 बजे के आसपास एमसीक्यू शीट अपलोड्स कर दी हैं दोनों चैप्टर की with answers. So maybe after this class 3 or 4 hours that you would be able to download it. Okay. Sure. Neenu Kumari saying rebate, no surcharge. If surcharge, no rebate. Yes, you can say that. Sure. So we are discussing about first heads of income. So whenever you earn any income, that would be either part of, we have to bifurcate, we have to classify that income under any of one of these head. Either it would be salary head of income. If it does fall under salary head, then all the concept, provision, technicality, etc. of salary head chapter is going to be applicable. So we have to find it out what kind of income it is. Either it could be income from house property, or it could be my business income, or it would be my capital gain. So these are the heads of income what we are going to discuss one by one. Or if that income does not fulfill in any of these last four heads of income, that would be regarded as income from other sources. So why do we need to classify that income under various heads? Because all these chapters are having different kind of concept of taxability. Salary taxability provisions are different in comparison to house property, business, capital, and other sources. So these heads we need to find out. When there is income, first of all, you have to bifurcate in which head this income is going to be taxed. So we are discussing about salary chapter. After that, house property chapter would be there, then business head, then capital gain, and then income from other sources. So when any income is going to be taxed under salary head of income, so the provision says when there would be a payment, there would be always a payer and there would be always a pay. So when there is a payment, there would be a payer and there would be a pay. Now the concept says if there is a payment, then if the payer is employer and the payee is employee, then this payment would be regarded as salary. Irrespective what we call it, it would be regarded as your salary income under income tax. You can say that fees, you can say that remuneration, you can say that profit, whatever you want to say, you can say it. But income tax would regarded that amount of payment as salary in the hands of the receiver. Understood? So there should be a relationship of employer and employee. And if there is a relationship of employer and employee exists, then whatever name of amount has been transferred from that employer to employee, that would be regarded as salary under Income Tax Act, irrespective of the fact what we called it personally, but that would be regarded as salary. Now the problem is how we will identify that who is an employer, who is an employee. So the provision says, the concept says, you should find out this thing. The employer should be the master in this relationship and the employee should be a servant. So servant does not mean over here that your cook, your sweeper, not that. We generally think servant means those person those are working in our home as a sweeper, a servant, as a cook, etc., as a driver. They are also servant. But servant means technically the person who serve for you, the person who work for you according to your specification. So if the relationship of employer and employee does fulfill the concept of master and servant, then this payment would be regarded as salary. Again, what is the main characteristics of a relationship of master and servant? So if in the master and servant relationship is the basic characteristics that one gives the order and the other needs to obey it. So this is the basic concept. So if the payer has the power to give order and if you have to obey that order, that means you are having a relationship of master and servant. That means you are an employer and the receiver is the employee. That means now the payment would fall in the head of salary. So there should be a relationship of order and obey. Suppose you have appointed a driver for your home. So if you will say your driver that please take me to a cinema hall or a PVR. So what his responsibility? He will take you to that place. He won't say no, cinema hall is waste of money. You can't go. Let's go to the temple. No, because his work is to just obey your order. So this kind of relationship should exist. If that exists, that would be a relationship of employer-employee. The payment should be treated as salary. So if suppose I am appointed as an employee in any company. If you become a CA, you would be become a CA, of course, all of you. So when you would become a CA, and if you are going to join a company as an employee, so your responsibilities and duties would be defined. That your working is this. You have to maintain this thing, you have to audit this thing, you have to look after this provision, etc. And you have to work accordingly. So servant does not mean that you are a sweeper, etc. We just manipulate those words. So technically servant means the person who serves you accordingly your specification. So a cook is a servant, and even as a CA, if you are going to join a company, you would be a servant. If you are a doctor, you are going to join a hospital, then your responsibility would be defined. That you have to see these patients, you have to do this kind of operation, etc. So then we all are servant. So if there is order and obey kind of relation exist for any working, then that could be regarded as master servant, employer employee, and payer pay, and that payment would be regarded as salary. Now, for example, suppose Mr. A went to see a doctor. Mr. is not well, he is ill. So he went to a doctor, and doctor charges fees and gives him certain advice. Suppose Mr. A paid fees of 5,000 and Mr. A say this 5,000 is salary payment. I have paid salary to doctor. Doctor also say, yes, this salary, I have received this amount and this is salary. So in between a patient and a doctor, in this relation, does master and servant relationship exist or not in this activity? When we went to visit a doctor, we have paid 5,000 rupees as his fees for the treatment. And suppose we have mentioned that amount of payment as salary. We come back to the house and we enter that amount as salary account debit to bank or cash. And doctor also received that payment and suppose passed entry in the books of account as salary. So would income tax would regard it as salary? Is master and servant relation exist in this advice or consultancy or not? Let me see the answer. People are saying no. Of course, no, because this is an advice, master servant that we have to order. So, do as a patient, we go to the doctor and we say, okay, doctor, do this test of me and do this and write it down, these medicine for me. No, we discuss our problem and someone else is going to advise us, providing the solution according to his knowledge. So, that's called fees, not salary. I am a practicing chartered accountant. So my client comes to me and they just discuss their problem that they want to file ITR, they need to do his books of accounts audited, etc. Then I tell them how are we going to do this process and they pay me amount for that. So is it a salary? No, because I will tell them how to complete this process. So this is called consultancy. There is no relationship of master and servant. So those kind of payment will not fall in the definition of salary. I hope it's clear. Correct. Every one of you understood that, I guess. Yes, that payment could not be the part of salary. Arju is asking, profit or income of partnership can be taxed as income of partnership firm and income of partner also. So is there any tax cascading? In PGBP head, we will discuss this topic. If you have paid tax as a profit of partnership firm, that could not be taxed again in the hands of partners. There could not be any cascading or double taxation, Arju. But this is the problem I always request to all my students that we are discussing salary chapter. Why are you asking regarding PGBP partnership provision? Why? It actually wastes our time. It's not only my 2 minutes. If I'm going to explain any of your query which is not related to topic, then you know what happens. It's not only my 2 minutes actually involved in that, but those are studying students like 50, 60, 100. 2 minutes of everyone is going to be cut short from that salary topic what we are discussing. So it's my humble request to all of you. If you come across with any abstract question which is not connected to our topic what we are discussing, even do not ask about salary other things, because what we are discussing is relationship of employer employee. So if you want to ask anything regarding that, that could be welcome. So why you are in hurry? There would be PGBP topic and your question would be answered there, Arju. So please, it's a humble request. Please stay with the topic. Stay with the related topic what we are discussing. Nagaraj is saying salary relation between employer and employee partner salaries comes under PGBP. We will discuss that. We have example of that partnership. Just stay with me. I am going to teach each and everything to all of you. Just relax. Shipra is asking something. Employees sent outside from India, MNC to abroad, stay less than 182 days in India. Shipra, again, this is not the class of residential status. We had a class of problem class for residential status, and you should ask these kind of questions. Again, if I'm going to ask these questions right now in salary topic, that would kill our time. So if I would have spare time, definitely we are going to discuss your query. Santosh is asking, what are the questions we will get in the examination? You will come to know, don't worry. So this is clear. There should be relationship of employer-employee. So now we will start our topic with this. This is our salary chapter, and the quotation you can go through. Confidence may not bring success, but it gives the power to face any challenges. So meaning and applicability, and because we have just discussed about the master-servant relationship, so that problem has been sorted. Every payment made by an employer to his employee for services render would be chargeable to tax as salary. So there is must be employer-employee relationship. In other words, no income would be included in the hat salary if there is no relationship of master and servant exist. In other words, any income will be included under the salary income if it's paid by employer to his employee as a master gives to servant. So the basic character of this relationship is that one gives the instruction or order and the other need to obey that accordingly. Understood? So you can see there are employer-employee relationship. Example, Sujata, an actress, is employed in Chopra films where she is paid a monthly remuneration of 2 lakh. She act in various films. So you can go through with this example yourself. Now, second, which student was asking regarding salary paid to a partner. Now, suppose there is a partnership from X, Y, Z and company. It's a partnership firm. 3 partners are there, X, Y, and Z. This firm pay salary to partner. So does that salary falls in the definition of salary what we have just discussed? Does the relationship of master and servant exist in case of a partnership firm and partners or not? If your answer is yes, then this amount of salary to partner would be taxed in the heads of partners as salary, else not. So let me see what are the answers. Mr. Anil is saying, so in our example, a doctor would be paying tax. Yes, they will pay tax under PGB. Kuldeep is saying yes, salary. Okay, so tell me now, in case of a partnership firm or a partner, who is master? Is firm is master and partners are servant? Who is going to give order? Is there any person who is going to order? Suppose you are partner in a partnership firm, then who is the owner of that firm? You are the owner. Nobody is going to order you. Partnership firm is an unnatural person. How this unnatural person is going to order partners? Partners are the owner of that particular business. So practically, there would not be anyone who's going to say you need to do this, you need to do that. Partner will decide what we need to do in this business. So there is no one who is going to give you an order practically, naturally. So if there is no one to give you order, then in that case, there is not a relationship of employer-employee exists. So when a partnership firm pays salary to partners, that does not fall under the chapter salary. Salary paid to a partner by a firm will not fall under salary head, but PGBP head. PGBP head means business and profession. Profit and gain of business and profession. So there is no relationship. There is no one to order you. So it's very simple to find out. If there is no one to order you, that amount could not be regarded as salary. Understood? Clarification, a full-time, part-time employment, both are salary income. Foregoing of salary. Now this is new thing. It could be a theoretical question also. It could be a part of your numerical question also. Foregoing means to donate, to give away. to forget about it. Once salary accrues, the subsequent waiver by the employee does not absolve him from liability to income tax. This is a concept we have discussed in basic concept chapter. There was a concept of application of income versus diversion of income. So once you accrue the income, once you earn the income, once you receive the income, after receiving it, if you utilize that income for any expenses, any donation, or for any other purpose, it does not matter. You have to pay tax on that income. So exactly the same thing. Foregoing of salary means kind of application of income. In the chapter 1, the diversion and application, the application is foregoing of salary. So if you forego your salary after receiving, after earned it, then the tax need to be paid by you. Example also over here. Mr. A, an employee, instruct his employer that he is not interested in receiving the salary for April 2025, and the same might be donated to a charitable institution. So, according to whose instruction the employer is going to do this? By the instruction of Mr. A. So, technically, who's the real owner of that salary? Mr. A is the owner of the salary. He just asked employer, don't give this salary to me, give it to that organization. So, even after he is not receiving it, but he is the owner, that means he had already earned that income. And just employer is just transferring that amount not into your bank account to someone else's bank account. So still it would be regarded as Mr. A income because he has become the owner of that income. So once you become the owner of any income, after that if you have transferred it, it does not make any difference because you are transferring it as per your choice. In this case, Mr. A cannot claim that he cannot be charged in respect of the salary for April 2025. It is only due to his instruction that the donation was made to a charitable institution by his employer. It is only an application of income. An application of income means you have to pay tax on it. Hence, the salary for the month of April 25 will be taxable in the hands of Mr. A. But because in this example it has been written that he has donated that income. So in case of donation, there could be a deduction under section 80G that we are going to discuss under deduction chapter. So for till now, the deduction concept is not relevant. We just need to understand what was the meaning of foregoing of salary. So once you have become the owner of any income via earning it or via receiving it, after that, if you are transferring that income, it does not change anything. The income needs to be included in your hand and you needs to pay tax on it. Surrender of salary is a different implication. Government says if you surrender your salary to government, then we will not charge tax. Look, if you pay your salary to anyone else, as if in the above example, that is going to be taxed in your hand because government is not receiving that money. Somebody else is receiving. So government needs his portion, its portion tax. If you transferring your whole salary to the government department as a surrender of salary, okay, I have received 1 lakh rupees. I want to surrender this 1 lakh rupees to the government. Then government say we will not charge tax because you have transferred the whole amount of income to us. So the amount of income you will transfer to government as surrender of salary is not liable to tax. Of course, because they have received the whole income. What is the point of taking tax? Suppose I am transferring 1 lakh rupees to government under surrender of salary. And government say, okay, give 30% tax also. Matlab, I will pay 1 lakh rupees to government and tax upon also. So there is no point of collection of tax if the amount has been received by government as surrender of salary. So if an employee surrender his salary to the central government under section 2 of the Voluntarily Surrender of Salary Act 1961, the salary so surrender would be exempted while computing his total income. Because government received full amount of income, then why they need to receive any tax upon it? Salary paid tax free. Suppose your employer and you employee. Your salary is 10 lakh rupees per annum. So this is your income. Your taxable income is 10 lakh. Clear? Now, on this 10 lakh rupees, if we calculate tax under optional tax regime, that would be approximate 1,12,500 rupees. Clear? So this tax needs to be paid by the employer. But employer say no, we will pay this tax on behalf of employee. Employee does not need to pay tax. The tax liability of the employee also we are going to pay by us. So if the tax liability of employee is going to be paid by employer, then this tax also would be the part of employee salary. Now employee salary, we will not say 10 lakh. Now it would be 1,12,500 rupees. This is called obligation of employee met by employer. We will discuss this topic in detail under salary head as a perquisite. This, in other words, means that the employer bears the burden of the tax on the salary of the employee. In such a case, the income from salary in the hands of employee will include of his salary income and also tax on this salary paid by employer. So whatever tax has been paid by employer for salary, that is going to be the part of salary income of employee. There is an exception of it. How, as per section 1010CC, the income tax paid by employer on non-monetary perquisites. Now, what is non-monetary perquisite? That we will discuss in perquisite topic. Do not worry about it. Actually, this D point would be the part of obligation of employee met by employer. In detail, we will discuss that point again in this chapter. If this tax payment has been done by employer for perquisite only, non-monetary perquisite only, on behalf of employee, that would not be regarded as income in the hands of employee. So we can say if tax paid by employer on non-monetary perquisite, that would not be included in the hands of employee as salary. Tax paid by employer other than these is going to be taxed, or that amount is going to be included in the hands of employee as salary. Please do not bother about this point because we will discuss this point in detail when we will go through with the provision of perquisite. Because we did not know what is the meaning of perquisite yet, so we cannot understand that concept in detail right now. Sir, we can divert before accrual, right, sir, to avoid the pain of tax. Okay. What kind of concept is this, Mr. Anil? Suppose I am going to receive 10 lakh rupees. So I need to pay tax on it, 1,12,500. So to save my tax, I will divert this income to someone else. Suppose that someone else, you diverted the income, did not pay you back that income. He is not a good person. He confiscate that income because legally you have transferred the ownership. And if you transfer legally the ownership, is it any guarantee that he will transfer that amount back to you? In today's world, I cannot trust. So you will actually going to take risk of rupees 10 lakh just to save tax of 1,12,500. If you want to do that, you can do that practically. But I believe people do not do that. Salary, computer times, residential status important, Nagaraj? Yes, it is important for all the cases. Meenu is saying, sir, suppose income 1 lakh, 50,000 paid government, 50,000 we kept for ourselves, so should pay on amount we kept. If we surrender 50,000, on that 50,000 of surrender of salary, we do not need to pay tax. But whatever you will save for yourself, you have to pay tax on it. So can we say it as additional burden to employee in case employer paying tax on the salary paid to employee as it is included in salaries as taxable income? How it is additional? It is a benefit to employee. On 10 lakh rupees, tax was 1,12,500 that employee required to pay out of his pocket. An employer say, okay, do not pay that. We will pay that amount of tax. So that's a benefit of employee. Only that 1,12,500 would be the part of your salary. That's it. But the 1,12,500 rupees tax liability paid by employer. So not to worry about it. That is a benefit for you. In which case employee surrender his salary, his choice. No restriction. Like people donate to temples, people donate to charitable institution as the people can donate for any reason. So this is their choice. Okay, so moving ahead. Yes, Saipa, they can surrender their salary partially also. So the amount of salary is going to be surrendered. You do not need to pay tax on it. The balance amount you have to pay tax. So that was point number D we have discussed. And as I've told you, do not worry about this point. We are going to discuss this point when we will go through with the perquisite provisions. Place of accrual of salary. So where you earn your salary, where you receive that salary, that could be a case of taxability also, as we discussed under section 912, deemed to arise, etc. So we have already gone through the importance of this point under the last chapter. So kindly go through it. Again, there was a benefit of if you are a government employee, citizen of India, outside India, then you will receive the basic salary, allowances, and perquisite. These all allowance and perquisite you received outside India is exempt. So in that case, only basic salary is taxable. So we have discussed this point earlier also. So you can read it. Now there are certain exemptions. This is a new point. Individual assessee who are not citizen of India. So this concept is for those employee, those are citizen of India and they are working outside India, like Indian government ambassador providing services outside India. The example of it. Now we are discussing those cases in which those are working in India and those are not citizen of India. That means other countries ambassador working in our country. So they are technically the employee of their government. And of course, they are citizen of that government. And they are providing services in India. So the basic rule is this. If any service accrue arise in India, that is going to be taxed in India. But there are certain exceptions because our employee outside India, and of course, in that situation, we are just charging tax on basic salary, nothing else. In the same vice versa case, if there any foreign citizen on behalf of their government working in our country, then what would be the taxability? There are certain exemptions, what we are going to discuss, theoretical provision generally. Individual assessee who are not citizen of India are entitled to the following exemption in respect of remuneration, salary received by them under section 10(6). So this is for your homework. You have to read these provision. If there would be any problem, you can ask me. Very simple concept, no technicality. There are just 2 or 3 conditions. If a foreign citizen working in India fulfill these conditions, his salary is going to be exempted. So that could be for theoretical purpose important for examination point of view. Kindly, these all points are your homework part because we will discuss those technical things which is very important to understand under salary head. So this is your homework, point number 3 also. All simple points just for basic condition needs to be fulfilled. So those were the exception. Now we are moving on to the actual concept of salary. Now you can see the format for calculation of salary income. So every point of this format, as you can see, the first point is basic salary. It's easy. When I'll explain you what is the meaning of basic salary, you will understand it very easily. What is advance salary? We will explain it. Very easy. Arrear of salary, taxable portion of gratuity, pension, encashment of leave, fees, bonus, commission, taxable portion of allowances. So all these points separately, individually, easy. Like point number 4 is combined point, but it's the part of gratuity when we will discuss, you will find it easy. Pension when we will discuss, you will find it easy. Encashment of leave when we will discuss, you will find it easy separately. What would be the problem? If they all three is going to be asked in a single question. So there would be a problem that you have to uh, solve all kind of these gratuity, pension, encashment of earned leave provision. And it's not end. With that, area of salary concept will also be the part of that question. Advanced salary could be the part of that question. Basic salary, of course, that could be the part of question. As in that question, fees, bonus, commission, etc. would also be there. So, because all out of these 8 or 10 points, all these points could be asked in a single question and we have to solve it combined. So, that could be a problem in salary head, not individual. Then there are multiple allowances, like almost 10 to 12 allowances are there. So, each allowance is easy. But to remember all those allowances, because you do not know in the examination out of these 10 or 12, which 4 or 5 is going to be asked in a single question. So that is a problem under salary chapter, not the individual provisions are as simple as we have discussed in chapter 1 and chapter 2. Understood? Then point number 7. Taxable portion of employer's contribution to RPF. What is RPF? Recognized Provident Fund. What are the concepts? We will discuss each and every point in detail. This is the chapter what we have left to cover. Almost more than 140 pages chapter is this. So whatever in this chapter, all these points what I am showing you right now on the screen, these points are going to be discussed one by one in this chapter, and when we will up to this point, our question will be solved. Then point number 8 would be taxable value of other perquisite. Now let me tell you, it's more than 15 perquisites are there. So that is a problem in this chapter, that there are multiple provisions of same, and we have to remember technically lot of provision to solve a single question. So that can create a problem. So that is only complexities in the salary head of income, nothing else. And do not worry. Stay with me. I will let you know the trick to remember all these provision, and I will show you how to solve those huge question without even doing a single mistake. Okay. So when we will find out all these above 8 points, then the point number 9 says total of 1 to 8 would be called my gross salary. Less there are certain deductions of salary head of income. There are deduction under section 80C to 80U. That is in chapter 6. This is deduction related to salary head of income. 3 deductions. Standard deduction. This is 50,000 under optional regime, 75 under default. We will also discuss that. Then entertainment allowance deduction. This is only for optional regime employees. And this is professional tax deduction only for optional region. After reducing this, we will get our answer, that is taxable salary or net salary. Now you might be thinking, what is this M stands for? M means these all are monetary payments. They all are monetary payment, generally gives in cash or via bank. And NM means these are technically non-monetaries. These you are not going to be received in money form. That could be in the form of accruality, that could be in a form of perquisite, benefit, amenities, facilities, etc. Understood? So that was just an overview of the format. What we are going to discuss one by one. What is basic salary, what is advanced salary, what is arrear of salary, etc. So we'll start from basic salary. What is the meaning of basic salary? So basic salary means the salary which due during the year, during previous year, whether received or not. So it does not mean that you receive that or you do not receive that, whether received or not. So technically, in a simple language, if I'm going to tell you what is the meaning of basic salary, so the time we have worked in any organization in the previous year. So that time duration salary would be treated as my basic salary. Suppose in any organization, I have worked for 12 months and my 1 month salary is suppose 1 lakh rupees. So what is my basic salary? 12 lakh rupees. Suppose in that 12 months, I have worked only for 8 months. Then what is my basic salary? 8 month salary, that would be 8 lakh rupees. Now tell me, is it difficult to understand? What is basic salary? Very easy. So each point is easy. But the problem, how to solve it is a single question. We will also solve that. Do not worry. Let me see if there's any query. Abhi, again, I am just trying to tell you, do not ask what is sir employer contribution. Sir, what is this deduction? Sir, what is sir bonus, fees, commission? So what I have just explained right now till now is the meaning of basic salary. Everything else is going to be discussed one by one. What is in this 100 pages? These, the explanation of all these points are part for next hour 100 pages. So just stay with me. I will explain each and everything to all of you. Tiwari Radheshyam is asking, is employee always an individual? Yes, of course, because you cannot order. There's a natural person need to be an individual, human being. Arju is saying, employer is deducting tax of employee's income 12,500 out of 10 lakhs. So employer is giving salary to employer 887500. What was the question in this, Arju? Nagarajan again explains the surrender salary. You can scroll back. It's just a government provision. If you surrender your salary to government under this act, you need not to pay tax on it. Golti Anil is saying, sir, we have to focus on permutations, combination, right, sir, like mix of various allowances, etc. Just do not worry, I will explain everything. Again, Aditya is saying what? ASF, Approved Superannuation Fund. We will discuss that also. NPS, ASF, abbreviations, everything is going to be discussed. Chalo. Moving on to discussion for, now we will discuss what is basic salary, what is advanced salary, what is arrear of salary. First of all, as I've explained you, the meaning of basic salary. And it's a which is due during the year. That's it. That is called your basic salary, whether received or not. Suppose you join in a company and the company says that we will pay 1 lakh rupees per month as a salary to you. You work there for 12 months. So how many months salary due? That is due for 12 months. So due was 12 months. That means in amount it is 12 lakh rupees. But suppose the company only pay you 10 months salary. You just received 10 months salary. They have said we will pay 2 months salary next year. So the received amount is only 10 lakh rupees. Now the problem arises. How much amount of income is going to be taxed under salary head? Because you only received 10 lakh rupees. But the amount of salary due is 12 lakh. So the provision of salary taxability says due or received, whichever is earlier. Or to understand in the form of amount, we can say whichever is higher. Now you have received only 10 lakh rupees, but due amount is 12 lakh rupees. Because when you work, that means due happens. So because the right to receive salary is for 12 lakh rupees, so for the purpose of income tax, you have to pay tax on 12 lakh rupees salary. So the concept is whether due or received, whichever is earlier or higher. So because you have worked for 12 lakh for 12 months, but you received salary of 10 months, 5 months, 4 months, does not matter. Upon higher, you need to pay tax. Now this 2 lakh rupees, which you have not received this year, maybe this 2 lakh rupees you will receive in next year. Suppose in previous year, 26-27. That is your previous year, 25-26. So in 25-26, you work for 12 months, but received the salary of 10 months. But the tax would be, you need to pay on 12 lakh rupees. But when you receive these 2 lakh rupees in next year, that is not going to be taxed again because that has already been taxed in last year. And this is the concept of income tax. Once you have paid tax on any income, you need not to pay tax on that income ever again. Understood? So for the taxability, you have to learn this due or received, whichever is earlier, or from the amount of point of view, you can understand like higher. So in this example, you can see due has been for 12 months, received is for 10 months. So higher is going to be tax, that is 12 lakh. And that 12 lakh would be regarded as basic salary. And the 2 lakh rupees, which has not been received, when that is going to be received in next year or next year, whenever, that is not going to be taxed again. Proper mathematics, no income tax concept, just a basic thing. Due received, whichever is higher. But now there could be a problem in the reverse case. Now suppose there is Mr. B who joined a company for same 1 lakh rupees per month. He worked for 12 months in that company, but company paid him 15 months salary. That means advanced also. Company paid him 15 lakh rupees in previous year, 25-26. Now, as per the concept will not change. Due or received, whichever is earlier, or we can say higher. According to this, the due salary would be 12 lakh rupees. Or received salary would be 15 lakh. So how much is going to be taxed? Whichever is earlier or higher. So the tax would be upon 15 lakh. You need to pay accordingly in previous year 25-26, assessment year 26-27. But this 15 lakh would not be regarded. We have to bifurcate it. Whether 15 lakh is basic salary, whether 15 lakh is advanced salary. So the basic salary definition was, which was due during the year. This will not change. So out of this 15 lakh rupees, 12 lakh would be regarded as basic salary. So in our format, the first point was basic salary. 12 lakh needs to be shown as basic salary and 3 lakh would be shown as advanced salary. So we have to bifurcate it. That's why the format is important. You cannot write it down 15 lakh as basic salary. That would be a wrong formation. That would be the wrong representation. So out of this 15 lakh, whatever amount of due, that would always be shown as basic salary. And 3 lakh is going to be shown as advanced salary. Now, the impact of this in the next year, in the same question, what will happen? In the next year, previous year, 26-27, what will happen? He will work for 12 months. So due month would be 12. But he will receive salary for only 9 months because he have received 3 months salary for the next year in this year. So out of 15, 3 months salary was advance of next year salary. So now company will pay him only 9 lakh rupees in this year. And 12 lakh would be remain the basic salary amount because he has worked for 12 months in the next year. So as per the rule, what should be the higher? The higher would be 12. But again, the universal rule of income tax will supersede it. The rule would say, even if you take higher, out of this 12 lakh, 3 lakh, we have already paid tax in the last year as advance salary. Out of this 12 lakh, 3 lakh already has been taxed in the last year. So we will only show 9 lakh rupees as basic salary in this year because we cannot tax income twice. And this is a universal rule. This rule was applicable in this case also. We have solved case 1 and case 2. In this case also, in the next year, we do not tax the amount which have already taxed earlier. In the same way, in this year, we cannot tax that amount which has been already taxed as advance salary in last year. So that cannot be taxed as basic salary in this year. Same vice versa. If anything has been taxed as basic salary earlier, that cannot be taxed on the received basis now. So with this two example, I have just explained you the meaning of basic salary and the meaning of advance salary. So that was basic salary, the salary due during the previous year. Now, what is should be the definition of advance salary? The advance salary definition means which has been received during the year but not due. Understood? In both point number 1 and 2, there is a common provision. If anything has been taxed as basic salary on due basis, that cannot be taxed on received basis later. And if anything has been taxed as advance salary on receipt basis, that cannot be taxed again as due basis in future. So this is the basic general rule that same income cannot be taxed twice. And for the purpose of examination point of view, this is very simple points. They will write it down 1 lakh rupees per month every year. Out of that, whatever amount is due, you can write it down in a basic salary amount, and which is received but not due is going to be taxed as advance salary. As simple as that. Now, third is arrear of salary. Now, what is arrear of salary? This is something different. Arrear of salary means salary which is received during previous year, which is received during previous year, but related to earlier year, but not due in earlier year. So this is something different we are talking about. Area of salary means any amount of salary which is received during the year, but connected to, related to any earlier year, but has not been due in that earlier year. Now, how it is possible? If anything is related to any earlier year, that should be due in that year, and that should have become the part of basic salary of that year. So how it is possible that something we received today in this year, which has not been due in earlier year, but basically was the part of that earlier year? So that is only in the case of when salary is received due to retrospective effect. This word you should understand. New word for you. Retrospective fact. So this could be done only when you are going to receive any salary in this year, which is related to earlier year, but not due. Not due because due to some retrospective fact. How it happens, let me explain you with the help of example. Suppose Mr. A is an employee in a company, that is employer, on a salary of 50,000 rupees per month. He has been appointed, suppose year 2015-16 per month. He is working in this company regularly. After 2 or 3 years, Mr. A asks company to increase his salary. that please increase my salary from 50,000 to 70,000. 20,000 increment he has asked after 2 or 3 or 4 years. Company refuses. So Mr. A was continuing business in job. He was doing that job, but he went to the court. That company is not increasing my salary. Now suppose in previous year 25-26 court order that company is wrong. Company need to increase the salary of Mr. A from 50,000 to 70,000. They should have increased it. So company say, okay, now the salary would be 70,000 per month. So in this case, if you'll see the basic salary of previous year 25-26 would be 70,000 into 12. That is not a problem. But courts say this 70,000 will not effective from this year. This need to be increased from 1st April 2021. So the increment court has decided. And now very interesting thing, the order of court has been passed in on 1st April 2025. Order passed in this previous year. And they have increased the salary from 50 to 70, but the effect is from retrospective fact. So what is the meaning of this word retrospective? To effect something, to give effect to something from a back date. So order is going to be passed in today, 1st April 2025, but it has been effective from old time duration. So that kind of order, that kind of effect has been called retrospective. Retro means old. So it has been not prospective. Prospective orders are for future onwards, but retrospective, which has been effective from back date. So now what will happen from 2021 till 31st March 25? Mr. A was working in that organization. He was receiving salary 50,000 per month and must be paying tax on it. But now extra 20,000 per month he will receive for how many months? From 2021, 22, 23, 24, 25. That means for 4 years, increment also he will receive. 4 years, how many months? 48 months amount he is going to receive. So technically, he is going to receive this amount in this previous year. Why on this previous year? Because judgment has been come in this previous year. And these 4-year extra salary of 20,000 rupees per month, that is now comes to 9,60,000 rupees. I guess I'm correct. Yes. 9,60,000 he is going to receive in this previous year. So that is going to be taxed in this previous year because he has received that amount. Now this 20,000 does not relate to our previous year 25-26. This is the amount which has been related to these 4 years. But this 20,000 cannot be due in those years. It cannot due in earlier year. Why it cannot be due in earlier year? Because the case was pending in the court. We do not know whether we will win or we will lose. So this 20,000 or this 9,60,000 we cannot due in the earlier year. So something we are going to receive in this year, which is related to earlier years. These amount related to previous year 21-25. But because it's going to be taxed in this year, that cannot be said basic salary because basic salary we can only say when that is due in the previous year. So these are not due in the previous year. We cannot say it basic salary. We cannot say it advance salary also. Advance salary is for future year payment received in this year. And this is not future payment. This is preceding year payment. So for this purpose, a specific term has been utilized, arrear of salary. So that means The salary which has been received due to any retrospective effect, which is not connected to our this year, received in this year, but connected to any earlier year. But why not taxed in that earlier year? Because it cannot be due in that earlier year. So थोड़ा हिंदी में बता दूं, बिकॉज वो एक बच्चा मुझसे कह रहा था कि सर थोड़ा कॉम्प्लिकेट वाले प्रोविजन आप हिंदी में बता दें। तो भाई रेट्रोस्पेक्टिव सैलरी क्या है? ऐसी सैलरी, एरियर ऑफ सैलरी क्या है? ऐसी सैलरी जो मिलेगी तो हमें इस साल, क्योंकि पिछले सालों से कनेक्टेड है, मिलेगी इस साल, बट दैट इज कनेक्टेड टू एनी प्रिसीडिंग ईयर्स। उन ईयर्स में ड्यू भी नहीं हो पाई थी। वाई? बिकॉज ये वो केसेस हैं जो उन ईयर्स में हमें पता ही नहीं होता कि ये सैलरी हमें मिलेगी भी या नहीं। तो ऐसी सैलरी जब जिस साल मिलती है, जो पुराने ईयर्स से कनेक्टेड है, बट उन ईयर्स में ड्यू नहीं हुई थी ड्यू टू एनी कोर्ट ऑर्डर एटसेट्रा और गवर्नमेंट पॉलिसी एटसेट्रा, तो वो जिस साल मिलती है उस साल उसे एरियर ऑफ सैलरी कहते हैं। तो सिंपल लैंग्वेज में, वो सैलरी जो पुराने ईयर से कनेक्टेड है, उन ईयर्स में ड्यू नहीं हो पाई बट रिसीव इस साल हो रही है, उसे हम एरियर ऑफ सैलरी कहते हैं। अंडरस्टूड? एग्जाम्पल मैंने आपको बता ही दिया है, तो आई गेस वो इजी है, वो ऑटोमेटिक आपको समझ आ गया होगा। तो दैट इज व्हाट वी कॉल एरियर ऑफ सैलरी। So if in a single line you need to understand the salary we receive due to retrospective effect. Remember this word. If any salary has been received due to retrospective effect, that is called arrear of salary. Got it? चलो देखते हैं बच्चे क्या पूछ रहे हैं। Basa Rab is asking, sir, a person earning 20K each month, total income would be 240 for the year. How it would be taxed? Up to 250 is basic exemption limit. No need to pay tax if your salary is only 2,40,000. Neeraj Kumar is saying, so around 12 lakh rupees salary, you will get full rebate. Yes, if you go for default tax regime, you will get full rebate. You need not to pay any tax. Yes, Mini, you're right. Vikas is asking practical problem. What will happen if 2 lakh is not received next year, and if it is cancelled by the or concealed by the employer, if the employer suffer a loss and is unable to pay the salary? Income tax say we do not care about it. If the salary becomes due, it's your problem that you are going to receive it or not. Even if you are not going to receive a single penny of money and you have worked somewhere for 12 months, you have to pay tax. We cannot do anything. It's your problem. It's your default if you are working with someone without charging income. In the same way as you sell on credit basis, if you sell on a credit basis, what happens? If he does not pay, the debtor does not pay you, still that is a part of your sale. That will part of your net profit. You have to pay tax on it. You cannot say, my debtor did not pay me anything, so I will not pay that amount. Okay. Neeraj is asking, sir, दिहाड़ी मजदूरी भी सैलरी है? Yes, दिहाड़ी मजदूरी, wages, रोजंदारी सब सैलरी है. Wages also part of salary. Anil is asking, sir, why will the concept of arrear comes into the play? We already paid on due basis. I believe now you must have understand how arrear of salary provision comes into the play. Ashlesh Raul, salary increment can be example, but if that increment affected from retrospective effect, that is possible only. Income tax department has pooled this retrospective provision to avoid cases like employees may give salary saying it is not related to current previous year and it is a salary related to long back previous. Employee cannot say that. Employer will decide. So if I'll say this salary is not related to my this year income, that is not possible. That would be genuine cases of retrospective fact. That's why arrear of salary concept has been made. Arrear would be taxed in the year it has been received. There is a concept of relief also in that case that we will discuss at the end of salary chapter. But yes, in the year you receive that amount, that is going to be taxed, the part of that income. मीनिंग ऑफ रेट्रोस्पेक्टिव इफेक्ट बताया मैंने आपको. Khushi saying, sir, concept become easier from example. Exactly, Khushi. Because means we cannot reverse in next year of salary loss. Salary loss? What is that loss? Okay. Hmm. Correct. You can. No, it's not a bad debt recovery because bad debt you already knew that I have sold something to someone. He is my debtor. He's not paying it. In case of retrospective fact, you do not know that whether its amount going to be realized or not. That is due to government policy also could be that. Shalini is asking, but next year mein due 10 lakh hoga and receive 12. So basic salary taxable is 10. Basic would be 10. So area of salary will be taxed in the year in which we will receive it, 25, 26. We do not have a time machine. We cannot go back. We cannot tax it in the preceding year. So we have to tax it in the current year only. करेक्ट करेक्ट करेक्ट. चलो यहां तक की बात क्लियर हुई बच्चों. आगे बढ़ते हैं. So let's discuss now the taxable portion of gratuity, fees, bonus, commission that we cannot explain over here because that is separate provisions. One by one, we will discuss it later. Now, to calculate income under the head salary, four main components are as follows. If you want to solve a question, these four components are nothing. Actually, out of these 8 points, I have just sum up those 8 points in four specific category. And you can check it out. These are the same of above format. The first is like you have to find out first of all basic salary, advanced salary, area of salary, commission, bonus. Generally, these are monthly payments except area of salary. So you understand basic, advanced, they are technically bonus, commission on monthly payment generally in nature except area of salary and these are monetary. That's why we have written over there M in the above format. Then allowances came. After basic salary, etc., we have to calculate allowances first. Generally monthly, and they are also monetary payments. Once we have calculated basic salary, advanced salary, area of salary, commission, bonus, and allowances, then we have to find out compensations and profit in lieu of salary. Generally receive after service like pension, gratuity, leave encashment, they are compensations what we receive generally after or at the time of termination. These are generally one-time payment. They are not monthly, they are generally one-time except pension. Pension would be monthly. All other compensation which we receive at the time of retirement would be one-time payment. And taxable if received during service. That we will discuss in gratuity concept. This is also monetary. And then perquisites. These are non-monetary payment, generally monthly, and they are non-monetary. So I have done nothing new. The format which we have explained above, I have just made components out of those 8 points in four categories. So to solve any question of salary, we have to find out first of all basic salary, advance area, then allowances, then compensation, then perquisite. So this chapter is also in this way. We are discuss basic concept, basic salary, then allowances we will discuss, then compensation, and then perquisite. So now section 15, I'm not going to discuss. We have already discussed. This is all about what is the meaning of due basis, receipt basis, whichever is earlier. What is the meaning of advance salary? This is of course your homework. We have discussed these examples already. The meaning of advance salary, we have discussed. What is the meaning of advance salary? Difference between advance salary and salary against advance. Both are different. Advance salary is your income. Advance against salary is kind of a loan. That is not your income. So do not confuse about these 2 points. They are having separate meaning and the taxability. Area of salary we have discussed. Theoretical provision with example also. So when you will go through the example, you will understand each and everything like crystal clear. So that's why I always try to explain things before going through the theoretical provision from the section wise. So because when now you will read these sections, you will understand, okay, what we are talking about. So that's why initially I explained you what is the meaning of basic salary, advanced salary, area of salary. And when you will now read it, you will understand, okay, these are simple things. We understood the concept. Now, salary, perquisites and profit in lieu of salary, same things, not to worry. Now, the definition of salary is there. As we have discussed in the above format, this is technically the format of from study material. They already include all these things. That salary means we have inclusive definition, monetary as well as non-monetary. So the format I have made above, that is exactly same format almost in the same method. Wages mean salary, annuity, pension, gratuity, advance, payment received, etc. So again, you can go through with this. Wages also the part of salary, same thing. So the first provision you have seen the component was first was basic salary, advanced salary, area of salary. So three things we have gone through. We understood the meaning of that. Now the other second part we have to solve an examination also. In examination also when you are trying to solve a question, first of all find out in the question basic, advanced and area. 99% cases, there would not be any area of salary. There only basic salary. 90% cases, there would not be advanced salary also. So out of these three, basic, advanced and area, only basic salary would be in the question in case of more than 95% numerical. So advanced and area just to make you understand what are these meaning, but not relevant for the purpose of examination alone. Okay. After solving in that format, how much is my basic, how much is my advanced, how much is my area. The second thing we will start solving in a numerical, practically, allowances part. In that format, you will see allowances part are after, that is on point number 6. But after basic, advanced and area, we will start solving allowances part. Allowances, fees, bonus, commission are almost same, not an issue. So the format is very important. If you'll follow that format, you will understand at the end. It's kind of a movie. I'm just asking you follow that format. And the importance of that format, you will understand when we will finish our salary head. Then you will understand, okay, why sir have told us to solve this question in this format. If you want to solve point number 7, perquisite first, basic salary, then perquisite, then allowance it. Then again answer will be same. But that would be little complicated to you. This format, following this format, first of all, basic, allowances, etc., then perquisite has a very, very important role in solving numericals. That will ease your numerical. How? You will understand. So allowances means monetary payments. And I guess it's 8:24. So we can do one thing also. We can go for a short break and then when we will resume, then we will start our allowances. That would be a fresh start. So you would have your tea, coffee, etc. So Nisarg, can we go for a short break? Okay, welcome back everyone. I believe you must have your tea, coffee, etc. So we were discussing the provision of salary topic. We have completed the basic concept of salary, the meaning, the definition, the basic salary, advanced salary, area of salary concept, and we were on allowances concept. Let me see if there is any query. Hmm. Anil is asking, sir, in case of advance against salary, will the interest portion be included in salary? How it's possible, Mr. Anil? If as an employee, I took advance against salary, so I am taking the loan. I am going to pay interest to the employer. So how it could be my income? It could be my expenditure. Income could be in the hands of employer, not in the hands of employee. Next is the salary on the tax payment current year means 25-26 when pay like 31st March 26 or advance tax pay earlier 1/4/25. Explain in Hindi, sir. I'm not understanding your question. You're saying salary on the tax payment current year means 25-26. Are you asking for arrear of salary or normal? When pay like 31st March 26 or advance tax pay earlier 1/4/25. Look, advanced tax concept, TDS concept is not yet to be discussed. These chapters we will discuss later. We have separate chapter for it. तो जो आप शायद पूछना चाह रहे हो वो ये है कि 25-26 में जो हमें सैलरी मिलेगी उस पर कितना एडवांस टैक्स देना है और कैसे देना है। तो वो एडवांस टैक्स अलग है, अभी उस बारे में डिस्कशन करेंगे तो कंफ्यूजन अराइज होगा। अभी कुछ मत सोचिए, अभी जस्ट स्टिक ऑन दैट डू वी अंडरस्टैंड द मीनिंग ऑफ सैलरी, do we understand the meaning of basic salary, advance, arrear of salary? Do we understand the allowances what we have discussed till yet? अभी तक जो समझा है उसके बारे में बात करते हैं। अगर हम एडवांस टैक्स, टीडीएस, अदर कंसेप्ट में जाएंगे तो जो अभी सब पढ़ रहे हैं वो कुछ भी समझ नहीं आएगा। सो द टाइम विल कम। वो एक कहावत होती है इंग्लिश में, वी विल क्रॉस द ब्रिज व्हेन इट विल कम। तो अभी जब ब्रिज आया ही नहीं है तो उसके बारे में सोचने से क्या फायदा। जैसे सीए इंटर में होकर सीए फाइनल के एग्जाम के बारे में थोड़ा ना आपको सोचना है, अभी अभी इंटर की बात करते हैं। ओके, so that is the correct way of studying that. Okay, so we were discussing about allowances. Okay, tell me one thing. When we go for a job, then the salary actually what we are receiving is for what services what we are providing there. Suppose I have been appointed in a hotel as an accountant. Suppose. Okay, let me give you an example so that would be easy to understand. A very interesting thing, a very practical thing we are discussing. Suppose there is Mr. A who lives in, suppose, Lucknow. He got a job in Delhi as an accountant, as a suppose chartered accountant. Right? His working is to supervise the expenses of that hotel or to manage the expenses of hotel, etc., to prepare the financial statement, etc. So technically, his job timing is suppose 10 to 7. So the salary what he is getting, what he will get, that is for the working what he is going to do between this 10 to 7. This is my job, and the job is for supervision of expenses or supervise the financial statement, auditing work, etc. So for this working hours, I would have received salary for my this work. Suppose the salary has been decided up to 12 lakh rupees. Now, logically, if that employee, that CA, Mr. A, who went from Lucknow to Delhi for this job, there would be some expenditure also which is associated with his service. that he has to take a flat or house on rent. So technically, for performing this job, for performing this work, that is not only that he will go there and he will sit there and he will do his work. There are certain associated inherent expenditure which needs to be done by that employee for performing this work. So whatever salary he is expecting 12 lakh rupees or he is getting, that is for his work what he is doing from 10 to 7. But there are certain expenditure. Rent he needs to pay. There would be conveyance expenditure. There would be lunch expenditure or dinner expenditure. There would be travel expenditure could also be there. There could be uniform expenditure. There could be a servant expenditure. There could be electricity expenditure. There could be telephone expenditure. So when you perform a job, when you actually going to do a job, so whatever amount you are receiving as a salary, whatever you are receiving as your working, that is technically your salary. But there could be a certain expenditure also, which you need to pay. Now, in some companies, company decided that out of these expenditure, we will pay you to met out these expenditures. So company decided, okay, you have to switch from your house from Lucknow to Delhi and you have to pay or you need to take a property on rent. So we will pay you 10,000 rupees per month to met out these expenditure. And we will give you for that house rent allowance. 10,000 per month. It depends upon policy of the organization. It's not fixed that they will pay you all of these expenditure payment. It's not fixed that would be 10,000. It could be less than that, etc. Because you travel from your flat till our organization. So we have a policy to pay you 2,000 rupees per month as conveyance allowance. We also pay 1,000 rupees per month as lunch allowance. You need to go outstation also for the work. So for that, we will pay you, suppose 5,000 per month. For uniform, we are not providing uniform. You have to bought it. So for that, we are providing you 500 rupees per month, etc. So it will depend upon organization to organization what kind of expenditure of employee they are going to pay. They are going to reimburse. It will also depend upon the category of employees. And it will also depend upon the organization, the working condition, etc. What I'm trying to make you understand that the allowances what we are going to read, this is not the for that work what you are doing. For the work you are doing in an organization, you are getting the basic salary or commission or bonus or advance salary. For the working what you are doing, you are receiving these things. Allowances is not for your working. Allowances is for those associated expenditure that maybe you are bearing on your behalf. So in that, certain expenditure could be paid by the organization in the form of either allowances or perquisite. So either they can pay you house rent allowance, they will pay you amount. Allowances nature is this, they'll pay you the amount. Whether you want to take a house for 6,000 rupees, whether you are going to find a house for 12,000 rupees, company do not bother about it. Whether you are going to reside with your relative in Delhi, you are not going to pay anything. It does not matter. Company policy would be there that we will pay this much allowances to all the employees for this category of job. And this much amount, whether he spend or does not spend, does not matter. Company will not going to take it back. Even if you reside in your relative house, this 10,000 company will pay you. They're not going to take it back. For conveyance, suppose you have just take a flat nearby from your company office. You just walk there and you reach there. You do not expend expenditure, anything. Then still company will not take it back. So this is according to the policy of the company. So you need not to pay it back, but yes, on this amount also there would be tax. These allowances is going to be certain, a portion of allowance is going to be taxed in your salary. It could be taxed full, it could be taxed partially, it could be exempted also. There are certain allowances, those are exempted also. So allowances what we are receiving to perform our duties, and these are those expenditure which is associated with my job. So I am just clarifying this thing, that allowances is not giving for your working. For working, you are getting basic, advance, and commission, and bonus, and incentive, etc. These are the expenditure, those are associated with your working, and which is going to be bear by the organization. So, what kind of allowances you are getting, how much allowances you are getting, this is different from organization to organization basis, and upon also upon the categories of employees. Some allowances are fully taxable. Some allowances are partially taxable. Some allowances are full exempt. For the salary head, we need only taxable portion of allowances to include in the hands of employee. Taxable portion of allowance. So these allowances, one by one, we are going to read. Fully taxable, fully exempted, partially exempted. And we have two regime also. Default tax regime and optional tax regime. Some allowances are exempted under both regime. Some are exempted under optional tax regime, and some are exempted partially under optional and default both. So you understood this thing, that what is exactly allowances? What is the meaning of the word allowances? So these are monetary payment to bear the expenditure which is associated with your working. That's why it's not the part of your salary, because basic salary, etc., is for your working, what you are actually performing, for which you have been appointed. These are associated expenditure, what we are going to be received from our employer. Okay. Purnav is saying difference between bonus, commission, perquisite. We will discuss. Allowances we have discussed. Then bonus, commission, when we will discuss, you will understand the difference, and perquisite also you will understand. Perquisite means non-monetary. So suppose company either can give you 10,000 rupees per month, and you will find out house on your own. Even company can do one thing. Company will say, okay, we have a flat. Company has a flat. Company say, okay, go and you will stay in this flat free of cost. You need not to pay any rent. So in that case, that will call perquisite. In perquisite, you will not get the money, but you will get that facility. Company could give you a lunch allowance, or company if has a canteen, company can say you can come in that canteen, you can have your lunch free. That would call a perquisite. Company can give you conveyance allowance for office and residence, etc. Or company can you give a facility of cab, that there's a company car, they will pick you up, they will drop you. So that would be called perquisites. We will discuss in detail in perquisite session. Sir, it is only in monetary. Allowances would be always in monetary. If there is a word allowance has been written with any amount of expenditure, it is always need to be considered as monetary payments. Perquisite means free facilities, or at less amount facilities would be there. There would not be any monetary payment in case of perquisite. Reimbursement would not fall in the category of allowances. Hina, reimbursement is a part of perquisite. So perquisite means either facility or reimbursement. If company asks you to have a cab facility as a perquisite, that means you will go via cab your own, you will submit the bills and company will repay it. So you will not get the cash anything, you have to submit your bill. So that is also a part of reimbursement, or also a category of perquisite. ठीक है, चलो अब allowances को discuss करते हैं one by one. So as we have understood the meaning of allowances, so you will have one clarification. When you will be a CA, you will apply for job. There would be a package. In package, you will see there will be certain allowances. So when you are getting those allowances, you can understand, okay, these are allowances for my expenditure, what I do need to do during our job. If your parents in job, or if your brother, sister, or anyone in job, you can see their salary slip. If practically you want to understand, ask them that they will show you your salary slip. In salary slip, you will say There will be a basic salary separate, and there would be multiple allowances. Internet allowances also there could be non-practicing allowances, etc., etc. Multiple allowances. So those allowances, now you will understand in a salary slip, what is the meaning of that allowances. So different type of allowances are given to employee by their employer. Generally, allowances are given to employee to meet the some particular requirements like house, expense on uniform, conveyance, etc. Some are taxable, some are exempted. How it's going to be taxed or exempted, that you will can see with the help of this chart. So allowances either would be fully taxable under both regime. So if you receive any of these allowances, these are going to be taxed under both regime, 100%. Second column says fully taxable under default tax regime, but partly exempted under optional tax regime. So these allowances fully taxable under default tax regime, but partially exempted, partially taxable under optional tax regime. And these allowances fully exempt under optional tax regime. So these three are only exempted fully under optional tax regime. What are these allowances? One by one, we are going to discuss category A, category B, category C. So you can see this is our category A technically. This is category B. These are category C. If any allowance does not fall in B or C, that will always be treated as category A allowances. Like if you read all these allowances, there would not be any allowance like dog allowance, cat allowance, cycle allowance, car allowance, etc. So if there is any allowance which has not been mentioned in B and C and A, always treat that allowance as per category A provision. That means fully taxable. Suppose there is party allowance. Employer is providing you party allowance. So party allowance is not in A and B and C. So what we will assume at as per point number A, fully taxable. Got it? One by one, we are going to discuss these allowances, and you will see till now, whatever we have discussed in salary head, there is nothing difficult. They are separate topic like basic salary, area, allowances are also individually easy. But now problem, what will be the problem? That you have to know the treatment of all these allowances, because in examination, out of these allowances, I believe in a question, 3 or 4 allowances going to be asked out of these allowances, 3 or 4. Of which 3 or 4 that would be. So to solve those 3 or 4 allowances, we have to know the each and every allowance treatment. And these some allowances have multiple allowances, sub allowances also. So that could be a problem only in this chapter. Individually, nothing is difficult in salary. Okay, so first is city compensatory allowance. What allowances we are discussing? Fully taxable. Now, देखो बहुत simple है. Just understand the treatment of B and C category of allowances. Smart study. B and C category allowances treatment you should understand. C category only have 3 allowances. High Court, Supreme Court, United Nations. These 3 are only exempted under optional tax regime. Okay. And B category we have to understand because they have separate treatment. And if any allowance does not fall in B and C, automatically included in category A. So category A, you do not need to remember anything. All allowances not fall in B and C, that is going to be taxed in category A. So category allowances name we are going to study, but not to worry about it. City compensatory allowance, fully taxable. Entertainment allowance, fully taxable, but entertainment allowance having a specific treatment under optional tax regime. It is taxable, full amount of taxable, but there is a deduction allowable under optional tax regime that we will discuss later in this section. And this deduction is only allowed under optional tax regime, not under default tax regime. Let me show you. We have discussed this thing over here. In this basic format, point number 2, entertainment allowance deduction only for optional regime. So this point has been connected with the point what we have just read it out. And this is going to be discussed later also when we will go through with the provision of deductions of from salary. So entertainment allowance, initially you can learn, you have to tax it, full tax it under both region. We have a deduction that we will discuss later. Now transport allowance. So this is important because this allowance is fully taxable, but in the deduction part, we can take the benefit of a certain deduction only in case of entertainment allowance deduction. Now, transport allowance is also important because it has a one special feature. Transport allowance granted to an employee to meet his expenditure for purpose of commuting between the place of residence and the place of his duty, that is fully taxable. But if the employee is handicapped, that's an exemption. If the employee is handicapped, it is blind, deaf, and dumb, or orthopedically handicapped, then 30 to 100 rupees per month is exempted under section 1014(2), and this exemption under both regimes. So generally, transport allowance is taxable for all employees, all category of employees. But if the employee is blind, deaf, or orthopedically challenged, in that case, 30 to 100 rupees per month, and that is a fixed limit. Those allowances are having this amount limit. That means these are fixed limit, irrespective of the amount of expenditure. 30 to 100 rupees per month is going to be exempted in this case under both regime. So generally under both regime, it is taxable. For example, transport allowance. Mr. A, not a handicapped, if is received by Mr. H, who is an handicapped. Transport allowances, suppose, first example, 4,000 rupees per month. So if Mr. A is an employee, 4,000 rupees per month, that is 4,000 rupees per month is taxable. Whether under optional tax regime or under default tax regime. But if the employee is handicapped, if it is a handicapped employee, then under optional tax regime or default tax regime, out of this 4,000, 30 to 100 is exempted. 800 rupees per month is only taxable. Understood? So amount of expenditure is irrelevant. This is a fixed limit. Suppose only 2,000 rupees per month is your allowance. In this category, full 2,000 taxable. I'm now only receiving 2,000, so exemption could not exceed the amount of receipt. So taxability would be nil. And this is under both regime. Compensation, Arju, again, I have asked you what we are discussing. Kindly ask queries upon that. Compensation provision, we will come to understand when we will go through with those provisions. Okay, so this is allowance concept of transport allowance. So now, partly exempt, any other allowance, those does not fall in category B or C. You can tax it completely in category A. So those allowances was having a special provision like entertainment and transport in category A we discussed. All other allowance like dearness allowance, overtime allowance, fixed medical, city compensation, interim, servant, project, tiffin, lunch, all are taxable. There's no end of these allowances limit. So you just need to see in the question whether that allowance does fall in B or C category. If not, then that is going to be taxed 100%. If it is other than entertainment allowance, because it is having a separate deduction that we will discuss later, or transport allowance, if that is an handicap. Now those allowances, these are very important. Because fully taxable is very easy to solve. You just need to tax it completely. Those partially exempted, partially taxable must need to be asked in the question. Because fully exempted is easy. You need not to do anything in the examination. Fully taxable, you just need to include the full value. So for the purpose of numerical solution, which is most important, for which you have to do some calculation. And that would be done in case of partly exempt and partly taxable. So partly exempt under optional tax regime. And these allowances are fully taxable under default tax regime. The first one is house rent allowance. So if your employer provide you house rent allowance, that a certain amount of that allowance is going to be exempted and balance is going to be taxed. And that exemption you can only claim under optional tax regime. If house rent allowance has been provided under default tax regime, that is going to be fully taxable. That's a good news. Pray to the God that in the examination, default tax regime question should be asked for salary employee, because in that case, maximum 90% allowances are taxable. One or two or three allowances are exempted, all are taxable. But do not worry. In examination, default tax regime question would not be asked, because in that case, you are not going to solve, because you just need to tax the allowances. So institute will make a question in which you should have to solve the questions. So house rent allowance is a special allowance specifically granted to an employee by his employer towards payment of rent for residence of the employees. Minimum of the following will be exempted from tax. So we have to calculate three different amounts. Out of these three different values, the lowest is going to be exempted and balance is going to be taxed. The first one, actual amount received for the relevant period. For the amount you received as an HRA for that period. Suppose employer provide you 7-month HRA. So the calculation would be for 7 months. If HRA has been provided you for the whole year, then we will calculate the full year calculation as actual amount received. Then second point is rent paid. The actual rent you are paying less 10% of salary for relevant period. And then 50% of salary if house is situated at Delhi, Mumbai, Kolkata, Chennai. If you are working in these cities, then 50% of salary need to be considered. And otherwise, if you are doing your service or residing in any other place, in that case, 40% of salary for the relevant periods need to be taken. Out of these three, the lowest is going to be exempted, the balance is going to be taxed. Let me show you how. Suppose Mr. A working in Delhi got a HRA. He's under optional tax regime. HRA paid by employer per month is suppose 10,000 rupees per month. He's getting HRA. Rent paid by him is 12,000 per month. Salary per month is suppose 40,000. Basic salary. Eight months HRA received. So now you have to calculate how much amount is taxable. So point number one was HRA received. How much HRA received? 10,000 per month. For 8 months, it would be 80,000 rupees. So the first calculation, which was HRA received as per the provision, this one. Second was rent paid minus 10% of salary. Now for 8 months, how much would be the rent paid? The rent paid would be 12,000 into 8. That means 96,000. And then 10% of salary for the relevant period. So for 8 month salary would be 3,20,000. 10% of it. That means 32,000. That would be 64,000. The second limit would be 64. The first is HRAC. Second one is rent paid minus 10% of salary. Now the third is 50% or 40% of salary. So because he reside in Delhi, so we'll take 50%. Delhi, Mumbai, Kolkata, Chennai. We have to take 50%. So 50% of salary. 50% of it. That means 1,60,000. Out of these three limits, the lowest is going to be exempted. So 80,000, 64 and 160. The lowest value would be 64,000 rupees. Now, this is called HRA exemption. And in the examination, we always need to calculate taxable value. For the purpose of finding out the taxable value, the universal rule is received universal minus exempted. Always. Taxable is received minus exempted. So received is 80,000. Exempted is 64,000. So taxable value for the purpose of salary, that case would be 16,000. Suppose if I'll say this is a case of default tax regime. What is the taxable value? How much? Full 80,000. So now tell me, if this question would be in default tax regime, this would be my answer. If it is optional tax regime, this would be my answer. So in the examination, what do you think? In which regime institute will ask you a question? Of course, under optional tax regime. Because only in that case, they would be able to see whether you know the provision or you do not the provision, or maybe they will ask from both regime. चलो देखते हैं कुछ क्वेरी. डिफॉल्ट में एग्जेम्पशन नहीं है इन ऑल केसेस एबीसी. आदिल है डिफॉल्ट में. बी केस में एग्जेम्पशन है. वी विल डिस्कस दोज केसेस. दोज आर एग्जेम्प्टेड अंडर डिफॉल्ट टैक्स रेजिम आल्सो. A, adjustment for entertainment and transport. Yes, A is taxable for all cases except for entertainment and transport allowance. Aditya sir, if a person is staying in 5 days in Delhi quarters, he leaves quarters after 5 days, can HRA may deduct in his salary? It depends upon. For till 15 days, there is an exemption. We will discuss HRA provision. There is an exemption till 15 days. There is no taxability. Okay, till 15 days, exemption is there. Mr. Anil is saying life would be happy in default tax regime. Will start working on optional tax regime. Okay. You know, Mr. Anil, if tax structure is going to be that easy, that would be a problem for all of us. If everyone able to understand the tax structure, what is the need of a chartered accountant? If accounting is going to be that easy, what is the need of chartered accountant? So if that is difficult, that's why they need us. That's why you are going to have a lot of money in future. So do not ever pray for this. That tax structure need to be very, very simple. Understand? Chalo. Basic salary for calculation or include any allowance. That will be explained. I am just giving you an overview that this needs to be solved like this. The technicality part we are going to discuss. What is dearness allowance? We will discuss that. Dearness allowance means the allowance you get for the inflation purpose, that for mehengai, that for day-to-day expenditure the employer provides you. That's called dearness allowance. If you want to understand the any allowance meaning, you can Google it also. Pooja is saying, thank you, sir. I got cleared group 1. Congratulations, Pooja. Pranav is saying, you are absolutely correct. Lesser the complexity of tax structure, lower the value. Exactly. What is difficult is valuable. Mustafa is saying, how can someone fully cover full taxation in one night? The 100 pages in tax and GST is full with provision and theory. Yes, it can be done. There's a trick, you can follow that and you will be able to cover that. But that is not the time right now to discuss. It's a process. I will tell you in the next class. Don't worry. Okay, so that is the basic how we need to solve the HRA, and now we are having the provision. The special provision also, HRA not yet end. Exemption section 1013A would be available to an assessee only if he exercises the option of shifting out of the default tax regime. That means you can only claim this exemption if you are under optional tax regime. Now there's very important note you have to understand. What is the meaning of salary? We just said 10% of salary. Now what is the meaning of salary? So the salary meaning has been defined. That salary for this purpose means we have to take only basic salary, dearness allowance, if that has been provided in terms of employment. And so dearness allowance is of two types. In the question also, if they mention, if they are silent, then that dearness allowance you need not to include. If the dearness allowance say this language, that this dearness allowance is as per terms of employment or as per terms of retirement benefit, that dearness allowance part need to be considered for the purpose of salary. And commission, we should also include the commission if it is a fixed percentage commission of turnover. Suppose like this, the basic salary in question is 40,000. DA is saying 10,000. And the question says 40% as per terms of employment or as per retirement terms or as per retirement benefit or as per term. So out of 10,000, 40% only as per terms of employment. So for the purpose of HRA, we will take salary 40,000 and DA only will consider 40% of 10,000. We will not consider full 10,000. Now commission. Commission is 5,000 per month. This commission we cannot take. The commission we will take if that has been given as a percentage of turnover. That commission need to be included. This commission we will not consider. Suppose it says percentage commission on sale. Percentage commission on sale has been given question. That need to be included. Suppose that is 4,000 rupees per month. But that is as per the calculation on percentage on sale. 4 would be the same. Suppose 6,000. So this 6,000 we will consider. So now salary would be 50,000 for the purpose of calculation of HRA. So for the purpose of HRA, we have to take the basic salary. We need not to include advance or arrear of salary. Only you will include the basic salary plus dearness allowance if as per terms of employment, retirement benefits or as per terms of employment. And only that commission which has been as per percentage commission on turnover or sale. That would be specifically given in the question. If that has only been written DA, nothing has been provided, only DA 10,000. In that situation, that DA would not be form part of my salary. So basic salary plus DA as per terms of employment and percentage commission on sale. So this salary is going to be included for multiple purpose. For HRA also we have to include basic, DA as per terms and percentage commission. For gratuity purpose, for rent-free house, sorry, not rent-free house, for provident fund purpose, for retirement benefit, other purpose also. When we will say salary, that salary includes basic, DA as per terms and percentage commission on sale. This called salary as per gratuity C case. When we will discuss gratuity provision also, there also what called salary, and salary exactly means salary as we are discussing in HRA purpose. Note 2. If employee does not pay any rent or actually lives in own house, then no exemption can avail. Automatically, if rent paid is zero, suppose some employee reside in his relative house, so rent paid would be zero. And if rent paid would be zero, exemption would be automatically zero. If you will try to solve it also, you will get zero and the minimum value of exemption would be zero. So there would be no exemption if there is no rent paid. Relevant period means the period during which the said accommodation was occupied by the assessee. Note 3, again very interesting. If there is any change in the amount of salary, like in this HRA concept. Look, if there's a question of salary, there would be HRA provision in that. That is for sure. Without HRA, salary question generally do not is going to be framed for you. So that's a very and utmost important allowance. So if you see for calculation of HRA, the HRA receipt. The second point is rent paid minus 10% of salary and 50%, 40% of salary. It depends upon the place. So if you look very closely, you will find out there are four main components. First is HRA receipt. Second is rent paid. Third is salary. And fourth is place. And we know salary means basic salary, DA as per terms, and percentage commission. In short, I learn this concept like this. Basic DAT, T means terms, and percentage commission on sale. So these are the four important ingredients to calculate the exemption of HRA. Now the concept says, suppose any of these things has been changed during the year. Suppose on 1st April 2025, HRA receipt was 20,000 per month. Rent paid was 30,000 per month. Salary, after including all these three components, salary, suppose that was 2,10,000 per month. And we are doing job at Delhi. So on 1st April, if this scenario remains the same for the whole year, then you can solve this question at a one go. HRA 20,000 into 12, that would be HRA received, then rent paid minus 10% of salary, so on. But there could be a question in which they can change these factors during the year. Suppose they say from 1st of July 2025, your HRA has been increased from 20,000 to 25,000 per month. Rent paid remains same, salary remains same, but you have been shifted from Delhi to Lucknow. Now you cannot solve this question for 12 months in a go. Now you have to solve this question in part. From April, May and June, for this 3-month calculation, you have to done on these factors. From July onwards, you have to do calculation for 9 months separately if there is no other change during the year. Suppose there is a change again. On 1st November 2025, your HRA remains same, but suppose your rent paid has been changed. Now it is 36,000 per month. Your salary has changed. It is 2,40,000 rupees per month. Your place remains same. Now from July, August, September and October, from July to October, that means 4 months calculation you have to solve, assuming now these are the specific condition for you. So for 3 months calculation, you will find the taxable value separately. For these 4 months, you will find out the taxable value separately. Now suppose there is no other change. Then from November, December, January, February, March. For these 5 months, you have to calculate HRA exemption on these factors. So nothing new has been encountered. The same provision will apply. HRA receive 10% of salary, etc. But you cannot solve this kind of question in aggregate. You have to solve these HRA taxability separately. And then at the end, you have to add all these taxable value. That would be my yearly taxable value for HRA. So that could be a possibility that during the year, out of these 4 factors, anything could be changed. And when that factor has been changed, For that duration, you have to separately solve HRA exemption. No new concept need to be applicable. Just assume these are three separate questions for 3 months, for 4 months, and for 5 months. Aggregate need to be my answer in the end. So that kind of question, you can solve this question also, or that kind of question has been given in the study material also. If there is any change in the amount of salary, place of residence, rent paid, or HRA received, the exemption will not be computed on annual basis. In such case, exemption should be computed separately for each fraction of the year. And the test your knowledge question number 1 is like that. So this is your homework. You can go and solve test your knowledge question number 1. We will discuss that in the next class. So that was HRA provision completed. So I believe now your HRA queries must have been solved. You continuously start asking, sir, what is the meaning of salary? Sir, how we will solve it? Let me complete that topic. Now I have completed my HRA provision. Now, if you have any confusion, ask me. What's happened when we were discussing HRA? You start thinking about HRA, what is the meaning of salary, sir, how we will solve it? So I know what are the confusion, what could be the queries. I was teaching since 2004, almost more than 20 years I have been in teaching. So I already knew what kind of queries that could be. And that could be only when you are not let me finish the topic. So when I finish the topic, I believe if the queries were 10, it would be limited to not more than one queries if you let me finish my topic and then start asking your query regarding that topic. But it's okay. Now let me see if there's any new queries. Arju, 50% limit in HRA is fixed for Delhi, Mumbai, Kolkata, and Chennai, or it can be applied only for these 4 cities. If only commission given, you need not to consider until it has been written specifically that commission as a percentage of sale or turnover. Clear? Okay. Mustafa is saying, sir, of day DA says a bottom of employment that it is taxable, but if not, it will not related to HRA then. DA, etc. need to be included for the calculation of salary. But if it has not been given that as per terms of employment, etc., then you are not going to consider it for the purpose of HRA. Shraddha, HRA is house rent allowance, then rent paid is also house rent. HRA is what employer is paying you. Suppose 10,000 per month. Then go and find a house for yourself. And then whatever rent you are paying, it could be less than 10,000, it could be more than 10,000, it could be equivalent to 10,000. That is rent paid. So rent paid is from the point of view of employee. Actually, how much rent you are paying to get that let out house. HRA, what is employer is paying you to go and find a residence for you. So the both are different. The HRA may deduct in our salary. How we claim HRA? No, HRA do not deduct from your salary. HRA has been provided by the employer. It does not deduct it from your salary. So please explain the rent paid 96,000 from the example you gave. 12,000, I guess we have considered that who's this Shreen Ahmed? I guess in that example, 12,000 was the rent paid we have taken, Shreen, 12,000 for 8 months. तो अगर हम 12,000 को 8 से मल्टीप्लाई करेंगे तो कितना रेंट आएगा 96,000. That's we have taken over here. Okay. Chalo. Next is now no other allowance is having that much of calculation. All allowances are very simple to understand. Now, special allowances to meet expenses relating to duties or personal expenditure. Now, traveling and transfer allowance. This is partly exempt under both regime. Daily allowance. Again, partly exempted under both regime. conveyance allowance, partly exempted under both regimes. So out of these 6 allowances, there are 6 allowances we are going to read. Out of these 3 allowances is exempted under both regime. And these 3 allowances only exempted partly under optional tax regime. Helper allowance, partly exempted under optional. Research academic allowance, partly exempted under optional. Uniform allowance, partly exempted under optional. So out of these 6 special allowance, starting 3 for both, last 3 only for optional tax regime. How much amount exempt? That says above are exempt to the minimum of following: amount of allowance or utilized for official purpose. So the lower value is going to be exempted. Very simple calculation. For example, suppose for traveling, you are receiving 10,000 rupees per month. Employer provide you 10,000 rupees per month for traveling or transfer allowance. Out of which, in the question it has been given, out of which you used for official purpose. Out of this 10,000 rupees, you used for official, for your office work, 8,000 rupees. For your personal purpose, you utilized 1,000 rupees. Balance left with you 1,000. So you need not to repay anything. Allowances, beauty is this: whatever amount you get, it's yours. Either you expend or you do not expend. It's your amount. You need not to give it back to the employer. So if as per the provision, I will see how much is going to be exempt or how much is going to be taxed. Amount of allowance is 10,000.1. The second point says amount used for official purpose. So out of these amount, how much used for official purpose? Only 8,000. So which is minimum? Lower is going to be exempted. Lower is 8,000. Universal rule of taxability is received minus exempted. So out of 10, 8,000 is exempted. So taxable allowance would be 2,000. For all these 6 allowances, the treatment of finding out taxability is common. Amount of allowance, that would be given in question. How much used for official purpose, that's also going to be given in question. So lower is going to be exempted, balance is going to be taxed. We can also understand this in that way. Out of these 6 allowances, the amount which is going to be used for personal or the amount which has been balanced, which has been remained, that is automatically going to be taxed. Same thing, used for official or which has not been used, that is going to be taxed. So that could be the same answer in both ways, 2,000 rupees. The thing you need to be remember that out of these 6, first 3 having the treatment under both regime, the last 3 only having the benefit of exemption under optional tax regime. Again, it has been mentioned over here, being an opt for section 115 BAC will only get the benefit of traveling, daily and conveyance, starting 1 to 3 allowance.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, good morning.
Sir Ajit, this side.
Ji.
Sir, would you wind up the session? Because Rashmi ma'am will join the session.
So I have to
Have
be
you have you have you completed your?
like 2-3 minutes left. बस एक allowance है. It will take not more than 1 minute. I can take that lecture in next session also, not a problem. So, ma'am, if want to join, so we can do that. Ma'am can join directly.
Thank you, Ankit. Today I want to take the feedback from the students.
Sure.
So I request you to kindly leave the class so that I can now have an interaction with the students.
Definitely, definitely. Okay, ma'am. Good day, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Good morning and good day, sir. Yeah, now students, this is an exercise to collect the feedback about this class, about this subject from you. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. So I want all of you to give me the feedback either by the raising hands. I would like to know if anybody wants to give their fair feedback. So please raise your hand. Yeah, good morning, everybody. I've taken good wishes from all of you. Now I want the people to participate in it and give me the feedback about the class so that we can improve upon it. Yeah, Shalini, please. Huh? Just a minute, just a minute. Yes, just a minute. करो उसको.
Hello, ma'am.
Good morning, Shalini. Yeah, do you have any kind of a feedback regarding the classes just going on?
Yes, ma'am. Its classes are amazing and conceptual clarity. This faculty
I
gives us conceptual clarity and state to the concept as examination or orientation, examination point of view, and most complex,
Shalini,
most
what is
concept.
if we are getting the objective cleared, then I do not want those kind of a feedback. I want the feedback if anything else additional feature that you people want in order to add up on it. That kind of a feedback is important for me. In case if things are going on satisfactory, thank you, thanks a lot. Is there any kind of
Good
a
morning, ma'am.
additional? Uh, Let me be very fair, Golti. Don't interject when I'm speaking. Yeah. Golti, do you have any kind of a feedback?
Yes, ma'am. Like, sir is not interacting with student with us like some other faculties. So I request you
आप
to
हिंदी में भी
allow.
बोलना चाहें, you can speak in
Ma'am,
Hindi, be fair.
ma'am,
Yeah,
ma'am, I don't know Hindi. Actually, I'm from
no
Andhra
problem, no
Pradesh.
problem. Golti, you just said that sir is not interacting like other faculties are interacting. In what way do you find it? Because we
Like
want
doubt
in the
clarification, you have to be one-to-one like conversation. It will be more clear, ma'am. As per me,
no, the
like
thing
in
is
chat, we
now
cannot express everything, right, ma'am? Like. It will be very unclear in chat.
you tell me one thing, whether the teachers are giving you sufficient questions to practice for.
Yes, ma'am.
You are getting sufficient questions in case if you have any problem in any questions, whether those problems are getting resolved or not.
Yes, ma'am. He is solving out.
They are resolving your problems.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, then if your problems are resolving, then one-to-one interaction for a case wherein there are so many students, 50, just now I have 54 students over here in the class. Now, if the faculty starts interacting with each student for a few seconds also, it will take
Yeah, ma'am.
your
It takes
time only,
lots of
madam.
time.
Yeah, it will take your time. What we can do, last 10 minutes, I would ask the faculty to interact if any student is
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so
okay.
much, ma'am.
Last 10 minutes.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Anybody else who wants to give me the feedback? Yeah, Nagarjun, Nagarj, Nagaraja M.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am,
Yes.
once audio leaves this session, audio leave again not connected, madam.
Not connected like
Yes, option not there. Once I leave the audio connect audio leave the audio again I connected not option, ma'am.
okay. Okay. That we have taken care that are noted, and for last 10 minutes I would ask my team to give every student an opportunity to interact with the faculty, so you can interact, but I believe if enough of the questions are being practiced and they are resolving your problems, then our purpose is getting resolved.
The technically problem, madam.
Technical problem means the technical problem,
Yes, madam.
IT problem.
Yes, Zoom session once audio leave, but again not connected, madam. Not connecting any not audio not hearing.
Okay. Does any other student face such kind of a problem? If so, just let me know. I have not. Okay, Nagaraja, might be possible. And one-time problem is always possible. None of the student is reporting such kind of a similar problem. Still, we will take care. Hina Kumar.
यस मैम मैम मेरा
Yeah.
डाउट ये था कि मतलब सर इलस्ट्रेशंस एंड टीवाईक्यू सॉल्व करवाते हैं अच्छे से सो इट मतलब अगर और बेटर हो जाएगा कि हमें वो इलस्ट्रेशंस एंड ऑल होमवर्क में मिले और सर थोड़े पास्ट क्वेश्चंस या कुछ ट्राई करे एक नॉट ऑल बट एक या दो क्वेश्चंस तो उससे क्लैरिटी और ज्यादा मिल जाएगी तो बेटर होगा।
हीना फिर से बताओ, आपकी क्लास में आपको क्वेश्चंस कब मिलते हैं? एडवांस में मिलते हैं या क्लास के अंदर ही मिलते हैं?
नहीं सर कॉन्सेप्ट पढ़ाने के बाद हमें मतलब सॉल्व करवाते हैं इलस्ट्रेशंस एंड टीवाईक्यूज तो वो समझ जाता है बट माय पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू इज एक बार कॉन्सेप्ट समझ जाए तो सर हमें
जो इलस्ट्रेशंस होती हैं वो स्टडी मटेरियल की होती हैं?
हाँ स्टडी मटेरियल्स के ही होते हैं तो अगर एक्स्ट्रा क्वेश्चन जैसे कि
हीना, जो इलस्ट्रेशंस होती हैं वो स्टडी मटेरियल की होती हैं?
हाँ मैम।
हीना, कुछ प्रॉब्लम आ रहा है ऑडियो के अंदर?
नहीं मैम आपका आ रहा है क्लियर आवाज।
हाँ, मुझे भी लग रहा है। हीना, जो इलस्ट्रेशंस सॉल्व करी जाती हैं वो स्टडी मटेरियल की करी जाती हैं?
हाँ मैम।
ठीक है, आप चाहते हैं कि आउट ऑफ स्टडी मटेरियल भी कुछ क्वेश्चंस लिए जाएं?
हाँ मतलब एक या दो भी अगर पास्ट ईयर के हो तो और ज्यादा क्लियरिटी मिल जाएगी कि हम इलस्ट्रेशन खुद से भी ट्राई करेंगे तो कहाँ लैग हो रहे हो पता चल जाएगा बिकॉज
मैं एक बात सब स्टूडेंट्स को इस टाइम बताना चाहती हूँ, वी कंडक्ट द रिविजनरी क्लासेस ऑल्सो. Apart from LVC, we also conduct revisionary classes. So in the revisionary classes, my faculties take care that enough of the questions are practiced over there. Past practice questions are also there. And you people, even if appearing for my attempt, you people are free to attend the classes of January also.
ओके मैम।
ठीक है, so we will give you enough of practice and I will ask my faculty to arrange for this kind of practice session also.
ओके मैम थैंक यू सो मच।
हाँ, anybody else? Arju Bhagwan. Arju, do you have any kind of a feedback? Arju Bhagwan?
Am I
Yeah,
audible,
you
ma'am?
are audible.
Yes, ma'am. There is no doubt regarding the faculties and classes, but I have a doubt on BOS app that I'm trying to download the notes and assignment, but they are not down.
You are trying to download what?
Notes and assignments.
Notes and assignments. So what kind of a problem are you facing, beta?
डाउनलोड ही नहीं हो रहे।
हाँ,
डाउनलोड नहीं हो रहे। हेलो,
let me tell all the students, if all of you have joined your intermediate WhatsApp group, and you are facing any kind of a problem with regard to our BOS knowledge portal or BOS mobile app, you can report to Ajit sir in the WhatsApp group. He will immediately get it corrected within the same day. So don't wait that I would be coming down to the class asking your feedback. Huh? If you face any kind of a difficulty, immediately get it rectified. How can you join the WhatsApp group? It's already there. अच्छा, इनको बता दो कैसे join करना है. Today what we will do, we will put it into the chat of today of this class so that additional students, if they want to join the WhatsApp group, they may join. We will put the WhatsApp link today, today by end of this class. Anybody else? Khushi Garg. Nagaraja, we have already spoken. Arju, we have spoken. So please put your hands down. Khushi Garg. Yeah, Khushi.
गुड मॉर्निंग मैम
Good morning, beta.
मैम क्लासेस में रेस्ट एवरीथिंग इज वेरी फाइन लाइक सर हर एक कॉन्सेप्ट को विद प्रॉपर एग्जांपल्स एक्सप्लेन करते हैं तो जो भी कॉम्प्लिकेटेड टॉपिक्स रहते हैं वो भी इजीली समझ आ जाते हैं बट आई वुड लाइक टू ऐड अ पॉइंट जैसे कि हीना ने भी कहा था कि पीवाईक्यूज अगर सर मतलब एक आध क्वेश्चंस भी अगर वो ऐड करा सके एंड अगर सर लाइक विद इन मतलब क्लास के बीच में किसी से भी रैंडमली क्वेश्चंस पूछे या फिर स्टूडेंट से तो उससे क्लास और भी इंटरैक्टिव हो सकती है दैट्स व्हाट आई वांटेड टू से मैम
Okay, beta. Noted.
थैंक यू मैम
Yes, Vikash. Mr. Vikash. Khushi, we have noted your feedback. So please put your hand down. Yeah, Vikash. Somebody, Mr. Harivansh Kumar is reporting that BOS mobile app is having lot of problem. I request you to kindly give the all the problems list and list all your problems of mobile app and send it across to email ID bos@icai.in and also CC mark to me rashmi.goel@icai.in. WhatsApp link, we are just sending it across to you. Write down 3 email IDs. If you have any kind of a problem facing mobile app in downloading your notes or you want to join WhatsApp link, write to Ajit, AJEET, Ajit.kumar@ICI.in. Can I have a chat box over here? I would write it across that. Huh? Okay. Ajit.kumar@ICAI.in. BOS@ICAI.in. and Rashmi.goel@ICAI. All small letters, beta. Now, WhatsApp link. Just time लगेगा. Yeah. Any Vikas, if you have any kind of feedback, just let me know. Because otherwise I'm winding off this session. Vikash, Mustafa, if you have any kind of a feedback, please speak. Otherwise, we are winding off this session.
Hello, good evening, ma'am. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Ma'am, I have only one problem. All faculties are good. They're putting their efforts and we are learning best. But there is only one problem. Faculty changing. Two,
Faculty
three
change.
faculties changing is good. We know that BOS can't rely on one faculty if it's a change. But GST have now 5 or 6 faculties for different topic and different that, and we have to just like एक टॉपिक के लिए अलग फैकल्टी है और दूसरे टॉपिक के लिए अलग फैकल्टी है.
I've noted for GST you are telling. This is income tax class.
हाँ, but
in next 1 week, I will try to reach in as many classes as possible. I have noted it for GST, and it is always our endeavor that any course be conducted by 3 or 4 faculties at max. But at times it's possible. It might be possible that faculties might not be unavailable for any particular day. Then we switch off to such kind of a practice, or we are testing to increase our pool. Huh? Meantime, I
Okay,
have
ma'am.
also given WhatsApp link to all of you. So anybody who wants to join the WhatsApp group, they may join it. Advanced accounts classes are completely in Hindi. Okay, I'm coming in advanced accounts class. You tell me over there only. I will ask the faculty, why is it completely in Hindi? I believe that Sankesh Shah is teaching partly in Hindi and partly in English, not completely in Hindi. Just now, one of the students has written that that it is completely in. Please don't change the faculty. It becomes difficult to adapt that. We will try better that not more than 3 faculties should take any other course. Meantime, if such kind of things are taking place, we'll take care of it. Anything else? Okay, thank you. Saeed Hussain. Saeed Hussain, in case if you have any kind of feedback.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning.
Good morning.
मैम जो ये मटेरियल अभी हम क्लासेस में देख रहे हैं वो
हाँ.
क्या मतलब पूरी तरह से एग्जाम ओरिएंटेड कवर हो जाएगा या हमको थोड़ा किसी और बुक्स को या कहीं और किसी और मतलब व्हाट्सएप सॉरी
for
यूट्यूब
the
वगैरह में कुछ
study
और
material, बेटा हमने भी सीए करी है.
जी
This is the thumb rule that in case if you practice well your study material,
ओके
और ये नहीं है कि without logic समझो, with logic, if you understand the study material, you will be able to sail through.
ऑफ कोर्स एंड जो सर लेक्चर में बताते हैं वो मतलब फुली कवर्ड रहेगा ना मैम एग्जाम पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से
For giving you the provisions, not for giving you the questions which will come in the exam.
No, no.
Practice करना पड़ेगा बेटा.
Practice, of course, yes, but conceptually,
Actually,
it will be
yeah,
covered.
that we take care. Even latest amendments, whatever is applicable, that is being taught in the class accordingly.
एंड वन मोर थिंग मैडम, ये जो हमारी क्लासेस होती हैं इसमें एक 10 to 15 मिनट का एक फटाफट वाला रिवीजन जो हमने प्रीवियस में या हमने करंट में मतलब इसके क्लास के आगे या पीछे में हमने जो आज पढ़ा उसका फटाफट वाला रिवीजन, एक क्विक रिकैप एंड और अदरवाइज एक जो पीछे क्लास में हुआ है वो फर्स्ट में हो जाए तो क्या होता है मैडम, एक रिवीजन हो जाता है, क्विक रिवीजन. बस वो एक
आप खुद नहीं
रिक्वेस्ट.
करके आएंगे, फैकल्टी कराएगी
नहीं नहीं
आपको.
नहीं मैडम हम तो करते ही हैं, बट व्हाट इज द
Because
एग्जाम पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से.
let me tell you, all of you are quite mature, intermediate students. So we expect our students to brush up their previous class or the chapter content also before coming down for the attending the class. And you should practice well. In fact, you should stay in advance to what is being taught in the class. Then it will further add value to your knowledge. Okay. Now I believe, Saeed, we have. Now shall we leave the class? Thank you. Thanks a lot.